Right, things are getting properly tense on the cobbles this week. And let me just say this. If you thought Carl Webster was going to settle in quietly, think again. Abby's temper? On a knife edge. Kevin's health? Still uncertain. And Debbie? Well, she's hiding something serious. Something that could change everything for the Websters. But here's the twist. While Abby's fury boils over in the Rovers, there's a secret brewing that might just blow apart her marriage. And Debbie's brave face? It's not fooling everyone. Now, if you think you've seen drama on Corrie before, hold on. Because this next chapter is emotional, messy, and full of unexpected turns. And let's be honest, when has a quiet week in Weatherfield ever actually been quiet? Stick with me, because we're about to break it all down. Bit by bit. And if you're loving these spoiler updates, don't forget to hit subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss a twist. Right then, let's get into it. So, we start with Abby. Now, she's been trying her best to keep things ticking along for Kevin, who, let's not forget, is still recovering from chemotherapy. But sharing a house with Carl? That's proving one step too far. This week, Abby hits breaking point. She's had enough of Carl mooching around, so she tells him straight, "Clear off for a bit. I need time alone with Kevin." Fair enough, right? After everything Kevin's been through, Abby just wants a quiet afternoon with her husband. But of course, that doesn't go to plan. Carl heads out, promising Kev that he'll be back to take him to chemo. But what does he actually do? He drags Kevin into the Rovers for a pint instead. Yep, that's Carl all over. Abby calls, expecting to hear Kevin's voice. But when Carl picks up, her heart sinks. And where are they? Sat in the pub. You can imagine how Abby feels. She's fuming. She storms into the Rovers, practically dragging Carl out by the collar. Her words cut sharp. And poor Kevin, he's caught in the middle again. But here's the question. When Kevin demands answers, is Carl about to come clean? Or will he twist the story to keep the peace? Either way, the atmosphere is thick. And what starts as a minor row might just open a can of worms Kevin isn't ready for. Now, while all that's kicking off, Debbie's putting on a brave face, but she's carrying a heavy weight. She's been to the memory clinic. She's even booked herself in for an MRI scan. But instead of telling the family everything, she brushes it off with a smile and says, "Life's for living, and I plan to live it." Sounds bold, but when someone says that, it usually means they're scared underneath. Debbie's always been strong-willed, glamorous, confident, the life of the party. But behind the lipstick and loud laughs, something shifted. You can see it in her eyes. She's worried, really worried. But rather than lean on her loved ones, she throws herself into planning her wedding. "No expense spared," she says, and she ropes in Abby and Kevin to help taste the wedding menu. Now here's where it gets interesting. Kevin starts to feel unwell midway through and has to head home. That leaves Abby and Carl alone. Again. And this, my friends, is where the cracks begin to widen. Back at the table, Carl opens up. Out of nowhere, he tells Abby that his business in Germany is falling apart. He's got debts, he's under pressure, and now he's worried he won't be able to stay in Weatherfield much longer. Now remember, Carl's always come off confident, maybe even a bit smug. So to see him vulnerable like this, that catches Abby off guard. And this is where lines get blurry. Abby, despite everything, feels sorry for him. She tells Carl that Kevin would understand if he had to go back to Germany. But the truth? Kevin's gutted. He actually wants to help. But as for Carl, he's torn. Stay and cause more stress? Or leave and lose the only people who've made him feel welcome? What nobody knows yet is that Carl and Abby are about to cross a line they can't come back from. Yes, the teasers are already pointing to passion flaring between them. And once that happens, it's going to shatter everything. Will Carl really betray his own brother? And will Abby risk it all after fighting so hard for Kevin's trust? Let's circle back to Debbie, because she's the ticking time bomb no one sees coming. Despite the glam wedding plans and upbeat chatter, she's hiding a growing fear that she could be facing the early signs of dementia. She's trying to put on a show for the family, but we've seen it before. Those little glances, the forgetfulness, the pauses. And while she tells herself it's just stress, deep down, she knows something's not right. The big question now is, will Debbie come clean? Or will she keep pushing it aside until something serious happens?